Imagine a hole in the desert big enough to swallow a dozen football fields. At its edge, a giant concrete stump rises just 250 meters into the sky, a quarter of what it was supposed to be. Rusted rebar pokes out like broken bones. The wind whistles through empty elevator shafts. This was the Jeddah Tower, once promised to be the first kilometer-high building on Earth. Then, in 2018, the money dried up. The workers left. The world moved on. For more than 10 years, this half-built ghost loomed over the Red Sea coast, a monument to broken ambition. But now, the silence is breaking. New cranes are arriving. Fresh concrete is flowing. Saudi Arabia is bringing the world's tallest skyscraper back from the dead. The question that has haunted engineers for a decade is simple: how do you restart a megaproject that has been rotting in the desert sun for over a decade and still reach a kilometer into the sky? Let QuitTech Process take you through the answer right now. The Jeddah Tower, formerly Kingdom Tower, was designed to be the first man-made structure to exceed 1,000 meters. Its final height was planned at 1,008 meters, that is 172 meters taller than the Burj Khalifa. To put that in perspective, you could stack the Eiffel Tower, the Statue of Liberty, and Big Ben on top of each other, and they would still be shorter than this one building. Construction began in 2013 with a budget of $1.2 billion, but by 2018, everything stopped. The global oil crash, political turmoil, and contractor disputes left the tower at just 250 meters a stub compared to its ambition. For the average person, this project matters because it represents something bigger than steel and concrete. It is a test of whether humanity can learn from past failures. The revival is being led by the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund, PIF, and the Jeddah Economic Company, with the original architect, Adrian Smith Gordon Gill Architecture, returning to finish what they started. The budget has reportedly been reset to around $1.5 billion, and the target completion is now 2028. If successful, it will not only be the tallest building on Earth but also a symbol of Saudi Arabia's post-oil economic vision. A decade in the desert is brutal on concrete. The Jeddah Tower's unfinished structure has been exposed to temperatures exceeding 50 C, sandstorms that can strip paint, and humidity that corrodes steel rebar. Engineers had to inspect every single beam, column, and foundation for cracks, salt damage, and spalling, where the surface of concrete flakes off. They used drone-mounted thermal cameras and ground-penetrating radar to map hidden defects. The most shocking discovery was that the already poured concrete had continued to cure but unevenly, leaving some sections 20 weaker than designed. The second nightmare was logistics. The original construction had used specialized concrete pumps, formwork, and cranes that were dismantled and sold off years ago. Rebuilding the supply chain from scratch meant ordering custom equipment with lead times of 18 months. Worse, the tower's foundations, a massive concrete raft 5 meters thick and 100 meters in diameter, had settled slightly over time. The building had tilted by just 8 millimeters, but for a kilometer-tall tower, that tiny tilt could become a meter at the top if not corrected. Perhaps the most hair-raising challenge was the political and financial mess. Dozens of subcontractors had gone bankrupt. Legal claims over unpaid bills were still pending. The revival team had to negotiate settlements with over 40 different parties before a single new shovel could hit the ground. It took 2 years just to clear the paperwork. The heart of the Jeddah Tower's revival is a new generation of high-strength concrete, called ultra-high-performance fiber-reinforced concrete, UHPFRC. This stuff has a compressive strength of 200 megapascals, nearly 3 times stronger than the concrete used in the original build. Why the upgrade? Because the old concrete had aged in the sun, and engineers decided to build the upper 750 meters using a lighter, stronger mix to reduce the load on the existing foundation. The most critical component is the concrete pumping system. For a 1-kilometer tower, you cannot use conventional pumps. The pressure required to push concrete up that high would burst standard pipes. The revival team has ordered a custom Putzmeister pump with a maximum pressure of 480 bar, that is the same pressure used to cut steel with water jets. The pump is powered by a 2,000 horsepower diesel engine, and the delivery pipes are made of a special manganese steel alloy, 15 mm thick, to withstand the abrasive wear. Here is a detail that will blow your mind: the concrete itself will be mixed with ice instead of water. As the concrete travels up the pipe, friction generates immense heat enough to cause premature setting. By using crushed ice, the mix temperature stays below 10 C, giving it an extra 45 minutes of workability. The ice is produced on-site by a refrigeration plant the size of a warehouse, capable of making 200 tons of ice per day. The formwork system is another marvel. Instead of traditional climbing formwork, engineers are using a self-raising hydraulic platform called the jump lift. It wraps around a central core and climbs 6 meters per hour using 32 hydraulic jacks, each with a lifting capacity of 50 tons. The platform carries concrete pumps, rebar stocks, and even a small kitchen for workers. It is a mobile factory in the sky. But the most jaw-dropping innovation is the active tuned mass damper. To prevent the tower from swaying in high winds, engineers are installing a 1,000-ton steel pendulum near the top. The pendulum is suspended by 16 cables, each 80 meters long. When the building moves, the pendulum swings in the opposite direction, canceling the motion. The system is so sensitive that it can detect the difference between a 5 miles per hour breeze and a 100 miles per hour gale. And here is the crazy part: the pendulum is being lifted into place in pieces, because no crane on Earth can lift a single 1,000-ton weight to that height. One surprising detail is that the tower's glass curtain wall had to be entirely redesigned. The original panels were designed to be installed from the inside using robotic arms, but those robots no longer exist. The new plan uses a system of external gantries that climb the building, similar to window washing rigs but on steroids. Each gantry can hold 10 workers and install 50 glass panels per day. Another counterintuitive fact: the lower 250 meters of the tower, which were already built, are being retrofitted with a new active corrosion protection system. Engineers are injecting a corrosion-inhibiting chemical into the concrete pores under high pressure. Think of it as giving the old concrete a vaccine. The chemical seeps into microcracks and neutralizes any chloride ions that have already started eating the rebar. The logistics of worker safety are also mind-bending. At 1,000 meters, the air pressure is lower, and workers can experience dizziness or even altitude sickness. So the tower includes pressurized elevator lobbies every 200 meters, where workers can rest and acclimate. There are also emergency oxygen masks installed every 50 meters, like on an airplane. When the Jeddah Tower is finally completed, it will not just be a building. It will be a statement that no dream is ever truly dead. For Saudi Arabia, it is the centerpiece of the Jeddah economic city, a new urban district expected to attract billions in investment and create over 100,000 jobs. For the construction industry, it will prove that megaprojects can be revived after decades, saving countless other abandoned sites around the world. But the legacy goes deeper. The Jeddah Tower is a monument to human stubbornness, the refusal to let a dream die just because it got delayed. It shows that engineering is not just about physics, it is about persistence, about finding solutions to problems that seemed insurmountable. The next time you see a stalled construction project, remember this tower. With enough ingenuity, even a decade of rust can be turned into a kilometer of glory. A tower that rotted in the desert for 10 years is now racing toward the clouds again. That is not just construction, that is resurrection. So here is a question for you. If you had a dream that had been sitting idle for a decade, would you have the courage to restart it? If this video gave you a new appreciation for what humans can build, hit that like button, subscribe to QuitTech Process, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive. We'll see you in the next one. Sometimes the tallest buildings are the ones that refuse to stay fallen.